숨쉬고 싶어 이 밤이 싫어 이젠 깨고 싶어 꿈속이 싫어 내 안에 갇혀서 난 죽어있어 Just wanna be lonely Just wanna be yours 왜 이리 깜깜한 건지 네가 없는 이곳은 위험하잖아 망가진 내 모습 요해줘 난 돈을 잡을 수 없어 내 심장 소리 들어봐 잘못대로 널 부르잖아 이 까만 어둠 속에서 너는 이렇게 빛나니까 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me I need your love before 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me I need your love before 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me Save me, baby 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me Save me, baby Save me, save me 오늘따라 다른 빛나 내 기억 속에 빈칸 날 삼켜버린 이 lunatic Please save me tonight Please save me tonight Please save me tonight 이 어린 관계 속 나를 구원해주리 난 알아줘 널 안 구원해요 내 삶의 어둠의 아픔을 감싸줄 유일한 손길 The best of me 난 너밖에 없지 난 다시 웃을 수 있도록 더 높여줘 네 목소리 내 심장 소리 들어봐 잘못대로 널 부르잖아 이 까만 어둠 속에서 너는 이렇게 빛나니까 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me I need your love before 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me I need your love before 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me Save me, baby 그 손을 내밀어줘 Save me, save me
We decided it out. We had a huge conflict earlier in the semester, basically about our AC and our heat being completely off for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel initially when I kept messing with the thermostat because it kept going off and not doing what it was supposed to do?
I felt pretty irritated because I get really warm easily, so when you like a different temperature, generally if we keep it in the same range, it's fine. But when it gets way warmer above the agreed upon range, then I'm very uncomfortable and I don't like it because I'm uncomfortable. And then so if I turn it down, then you become uncomfortable and or upset that it got turned down or whatever. And
So I was just trying to also look at what other questions to ask.
at least that's one thing we agree upon.
But we both hate that.
How did you feel about me turning it down?
So I felt that whenever you turn it down, or when somehow the AC just decided to magically break on itself, at least that's how I perceive it because it hates me.
This is true.
Yes. But it felt like we were at two completely different areas from when we signed our roommate agreement, based on the temperature that you said that we agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I am happy though that we figured out what the actual problem was.
I mean, after how many times was maintenance in here at like 9 o'clock in the morning banging on our door to come try to fix it, and then them saying it's a different problem than what they thought it was.
Especially when we had,
Like 4 months total that we were dealing with this.
and then also like 4 different departments coming through, messing with it, and breaking everything, and changing it behind what they did. Fun times.
I mean, I think it was worse when we were having the issue and it was like cold outside, because then like we couldn't do anything to be like really warm. Even though we had promised space heaters and apparently they took them back. But like when it got warmer, it wasn't so much of an issue, but
now that it is warm and we're having another issue with it, mostly because the AC will
doesn't like you.
doesn't like me. Why don't you like me?
But it's finicky, yeah.
It's just weird also how our AC just tends to be cold, and then after like a day or two, like it just goes straight to warm
Like,
air.
kind of warm, yeah.
So I will admit it is annoying that we still have this problem, but on the plus
Better
side,
now, I guess.
it's better. At least we don't have to call maintenance for them to come fix it.
Yeah.
Because we were told in the beginning of the semester, or when we had, not the beginning of the semester, but when we had these issues, when they kept coming through, is that they would have to change the pipes and the valves.
Yeah, I think that they probably came through and just did that to all of the units at one point, and just like didn't tell us.
Well, if they did, God bless them.
Well, because I know that they originally told us that they were going to come by to change them over to air conditioning over spring break when they were here like the last time. And I wasn't here during spring break. I know you were working, so if they did come at that time to switch it over,
neither one of us would have known.
yeah. But it's putting out AC now. So at least that's good because we're cool enough, especially after today.
So how do you think that we both handled the situation in the beginning versus now when we think about it and know what the issue was?
I mean,
Do you think we could have gone about it a different way?
probably. I think initially, I don't think that it was like intentional for us to like keep changing it because we weren't agreeing on it. But I think that once we realized the issue was because the temperature was not regulating because there was something wrong with the unit, not because we were changing it, but because there was something wrong with the unit. So I think like we could have done better with, I guess, not assuming that the other person was changing it all the time and that we just had to change it back, but like talking to each other a little bit more about if the other person was changing it. Because I think also that if we would have talked to each other about it, we would have realized sooner that it was a mechanical problem and not us doing it. So then we could have gotten it resolved quicker, although I don't know how much quicker it would have gotten resolved because it was months in the making for us to have even gotten to this point.
Yeah,
So,
because there was the whole point about it being too humid at first.
well, that they claimed.
That they claimed, yes. On a side note, we've had multiple issues with this apartment and our AC and our heating from week 1 in our apartment. We had issues of humidity in our room. We also had issues of like the floor being so wet and sticky, and
then when it became time for us to have heat, it was not putting out heat.
it kept blowing out really cold AC no matter how high we turned it up.
And then eventually they just shut off the unit so that we couldn't use it at all. So we were without heat or air conditioning for like a month while they were trying to fix and repair it, which every single time that they had come by to try to repair it, they thought they knew what the issue was, and then they would go in, mind you, multiple people, it was like 10 different people throughout the process, and one person would say that it was this issue, and then another person would say that it was a completely separate issue.
And a completely separate department needed to come and take a look at this, but then that person would mess with it, so then the other person from another department wouldn't know what to do.
So it eventually became that we kept track of every single thing that each person said that it was, so that the next person that came in, we could tell them, okay, here's everything. It's already been thought that it is. Those things have been dealt with. It's not that. It's something else. Figure it out.
Which then led to all the different issues of us either, like we portrayed, turning it up, turning it down, because nothing was really working. It was either just blowing out really, really cold air or really, really hot air, and there was no good in between, making it uncomfortable for both of us to live here.
Yeah.
And especially during like the first few weeks when we both couldn't even breathe.
Yeah, we both were sick after we moved in here for like the first 2 weeks because of humidity / air conditioning issues. And then when we reported it, we were told that it was because of a reason that we knew not to be true. But they said that's what the reason was, so we couldn't really do anything about it.
We do not like that maintenance man. That is a big consensus between the both of us. He is actually one reason why we both had so many issues with each other as well, because he would tell one of us one thing and then the other person another thing, causing even more conflicts between us, making it harder for us to really know who was telling the truth between either one of us. And we found out that we heard from the maintenance man for our building that he was the person that told each one of us. So we just came to the consensus that we're just not going to listen to him anymore.
Yeah. It got to the point where we would specifically request other people, and then it was, for the better part of the end of it, it was just I who was dealing with them. So it was one person getting all of the information instead of it being divided or separated between us, so that we didn't have to deal with that any longer.
And I felt bad about having Stephanie being the main go-to person, but every time
Waking
they
up
came
every
by,
single morning,
every time that our maintenance people would come by, I would have to leave for class. And Stephanie, I would have to wake Stephanie up.
And I have late classes, so that was fun experiences.
I felt horrible having to leave her with the maintenance people, but I couldn't do anything, especially on the days that I had to go to work, because I know I can't be late for work, or else I could get fired. But at least with one person keeping track of everything, we were definitely able to not beat each other's throats anymore, not be angry with one another for messing with it when these people told us one thing and they told the other person another. So my take now about the conflict that me and my roommate Stephanie shared this past year living in our apartment, it taught me that especially if mechanical issues are occurring, or if both parties are saying something weird is happening with the temperature in the room, to definitely talk to each other more in depth about it first and then investigate together, instead of assuming something is going wrong and switching the temperature on one another. The way I would revise my approach about doing it, as I obviously wouldn't be switching the temperature on Stephanie or in my future roommates. I would also go and talk to my roommate first now, and see if anything weird was happening to them as well. I feel like if we had both known that it was a mechanical issue long before, then we probably could have gotten our AC and heat fixed much, much quicker and without any issues between either one of us.